Hello, guys, and welcome to the show. You know what? The system is starting to slowly come unglued, and there's a lot of problems within the system that have been simmering for a long time now, that when it comes unglued, they're going to come unglued all at once, and they're going to unravel really fast, and this is going to create a situation worse than 2008. I'm thinking that there is a possibility that the supply chains in North America, that's the trucking firms and stuff, could have delays or possibly shortages in some areas that could be ongoing for a number of months before they get it fixed during this situation, along with your debit cards and your ATM machines, and being able to go to the bank and get your money. Cash might be really in short supply because an awful lot of people don't use cash anymore. There's not that much cash floating around in the system. Surprisingly, back in 2008, there's a lot more cash floating around in the system. People didn't use debit as much as they do now. And so we could be in for a crisis situation that could rival or actually be greater than the crisis that occurred after the stock market crash of 1929. It's not time to panic. Don't panic, but it's a good idea to put away a few supplies for yourself. Some bottled water is very important. Probably some food supplies, canned food and things like that. And don't forget your $5 bills. Now, don't put your $5 bills in with your bottled water and stuff like that. Put them someplace really safe. Maybe buy yourself a little, go to Walmart or something, or buy yourself a little cash box someplace on eBay or whatever, and or some sort of a little cash box that you can hide away. Maybe get one that's flame retardant or something like that, you know, and got a little lock on it and stuff, and put it away someplace where nobody's going to find it, where only you know where it's at. It might be a good idea. Now, we're going to get right into it, and we're going to open the charts, and we're going to look at several of the problems right now. One of the things is, just today alone, the Chinese stock market went down considerable. I think it was 5%. I mean, this is shockwaves. The stock market today showed tremendous volatility. This morning, if you watched my report, you'll know that I said I thought that the stock market would probably finish up today, up a little bit higher today, and don't be fooled. This is like round one in a prize fight, and we just went through round one, which is the 10-year Treasury going past 3.2%, 3.23, I think it is at, or whatever. Okay, so now what I think it's going to do is I think it's going to back off a little bit for a little while, maybe back down 5 or 6 basis points or something, and everybody's going to be relieved. You might get a little relief rally in the stock market because this stock market is just stupid. Stupid. It's been going up stupid for so long. It's been going up on bad news. It goes up on good news. It's just stupid. The stock market right now is stupid. So a stupid stock market might go up a little bit because they're so used to buying on the dips, you know, and they might buy it up a little bit. So that's not unusual. It's not unusual for people out there to think that this storm is over, it's past, and everything's fine, and there's low unemployment. We hear all these talking heads saying the same thing over and over again, how the economy is great right now. It's just ridiculous because we're coming for a crisis right now, and they can't see it. There's guys like Peter Schiff who are telling them, you know, this is going to end badly. And they just don't want to hear it. They're like a gang. They're like a bunch of cheerleaders right now for the economy. And they don't want to get him on their show because he is not one of the gang. He's not a cheerleader. If you had a group of cheerleaders, would you get a guy in there that's going to be like, boo team or whatever? It's not going to be in with the other cheerleaders. It's all cheering for the team. No, you're not going to get him in there because he's not going along with your pre-programmed uh, garbage that they're preaching about what's happening right now. They're not giving you the real lowdown on what's actually happening. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get in and look at a couple of problems right now, just a couple of them. I'm not going to make this program extremely long. I'm going to try to keep it to about 12 minutes tonight. You know, I don't want to sit you guys down here all night for. Some nights I do. Some nights I feel like talking, but tonight I just want to do a quick program. And so we'll start the charts right here, and we're going to take a look at Italy. What we're going to take a look at here, this is one of the problems, is Italy's got like $2.8 trillion worth of debt. Who can absorb that? Who can absorb the loss? That's like, for a tiny little country like that, honest to God, it's like over 10% of the United States' debt. You know, in one little tiny country. And for crying out loud, look at the 10-year bond yields in Italy. Well, you can get a U.S. 10-year for almost as good a price. Italy's price is almost, they're not giving you much more interest than the U.S. 10-year. I mean, the U.S. 10-year is at 3.2, and Italy's going to give you 3.6 for their shithole piece of garbage of a bond with a country that's $2.6 trillion in debt. Who's going to buy this crap? And I mean, here, look at what we got here. Look at it rising. It's rising means that they're going to try to give you more money for your 10 years. Wasting your money with them for 10 years. They're saying, okay, we're going to give you a little bit more. We won't give you 3.6. We'll give you 3.7 or 4%. They should give you 1,000% for the amount of risk that you're taking, investing with them. They should give you 1,000,000,000%. But 1,000,000,000 times 0 is still 0. Italy's going down, you know. It's going down. I mean, it's going down slowly. It's a slow sinking ship. They're bailing it out as best they can. Just like bailing out a boat that's sinking. But Italy's going down. And all of these troubles in the world, like Italy, are all going to come to a head at once. Because when the crisis starts to hit, it's going to exacerbate all of these problems that have been brewing for the longest period of time and haven't popped yet, are all going to pop at once, including Italy. And the European Union cannot handle Italy sinking when it really starts to sink. And it's obvious to everyone in the world that Italy's sinking. That alone could sink the world economy. But if the world economy sinks first, and then it makes Italy sink, then it exacerbates the overall problem of the entire world. And so we got a mess here. Look at the Italian bond. Look at what it's been doing. It's been going almost straight up lately. You know? And this is a problem right here. Now let's take a look at another problem. Right here, Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank's been just struggling for the longest time. You know? And if you take a look ever since the last couple months here, they've basically been bottom bouncing. This is bottom bouncing. They're not going anywhere. They're down 1.58% today alone. They're 9.55 euros to buy Deutsche Bank stock. Deutsche Bank's done everything that they can do to stay alive, and they've stayed alive a long time. I got to hand it to them. But if the world economy sinks, if Italy sinks, the rest of the world economy sinks, Deutsche Bank will sink. There's another thing. Deutsche Bank is big enough and bad enough and bold enough to sink the entire world by itself. But if the entire world sinks first, like I say again, then Deutsche Bank will exacerbate the rest of the problem. So you see, when this crisis hits, Deutsche Bank alone has like 50, I think it's $50 trillion worth of nominal derivatives products. Oh my God. I mean, those derivatives products branch out like, it's kind of like tentacles. Okay, picture a giant oak tree. Now, a guy might be digging to put in say a septic tank. He's digging and he's like 100 meters or 100 yards away from this oak tree. And the oak tree's way over there in the other guy's piece of land. And he pulls up a root and he starts pulling on this root. He doesn't realize that that root is actually attached to the oak tree. He doesn't realize it because he's over in the other yard digging, and the oak tree is over in the other guy's property, way over there, 300 yards away. And he cuts the root. It's oak because that oak tree has a tentacle going out that he couldn't see underneath the ground. Well, Deutsche Bank's nominal derivatives book are like tentacles that reach out through the financial system, and you might not know exactly what bank Deutsche Bank going down is going to affect. It starts a daisy chain reaction of other banks that go down along with it when Deutsche Bank goes down. And suddenly they got an enormous problem. Now, when all these problems start and everything starts to unwind, the entire system starts to unwind, including a stock market crash, and everything is crashing, right? The world's central banks are going to have to work in cooperation. It's going to be a crisis situation. They are going to convene meetings because this is what academic people always do. They do meetings. They always have meetings. So what they'll do is they own the media. The mainstream Mockingbird media is actually owned by the giant corporations and banking systems and stuff. They will bring that media in, and they will use that media as an effective tool to show the world that this is an enormous crisis, and they are going to scare the bejesus out of everyone out there. They'll have it all over the media that basically the sky is falling. We're all going to be done. It's finished. And it's going to be in the media. Right now, they're not talking about any of this. They're saying, hey, we're in a recovery. Hey, the economy's great. Unemployment's great. Blah, blah, blah. That's what they're saying right now. There's going to be a sudden shift when this happens to exactly the opposite. The same thing happened back in 1929. They were saying that the stock market's going to go up yet forever. But when it crashed, then everybody was upset and excited and everything else. They were jumping out of windows and everything. Okay, it's going to be the same thing all over again. It's going to be a crisis. So these academics are going to have meetings. And the whole world will see. The media will be waiting out front of the meeting with all their cameras aimed at the front door, and they'll be convening the meeting, and they'll be in there for like 4 hours. And the whole world will be sitting there watching, almost like we watched the moon landing. Everybody sitting there glued, watching what's going to happen. What's going to happen when they come out of the meeting? So they're going to come out of the meeting, they're going to walk up to the podium, and they're going to announce what they're going to do to stop this crisis. Immediately on their announcement of what they're going to do, the crisis is going to end. Because I can tell you right now what they're going to do. I know what they're going to do. They are going to open the floodgates of money creation. They are going to support all of the banks that are going to go down. Everything is going to go down. They're going to support it. They're going to prop it all back up again with money. Money, 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 and more money. I'm going to tell you right then, if at that point in time when the meetings end and they announce what they're going to do, if you're still only invested in dollars, don't walk, run out and try to get something of value with those dollars. You better run, because everybody else is going to be thinking the same damn thing. And they're all going to be running in, trying to get out of the dollar and into something that's going to be going in the opposite direction from the dollar. They're all going to be running in, and they're all going to be trying to buy that 1 ounce of silver that's still there. Have you ever seen the what do they call it, the Black Monday sale or whatever? You know, the sale where all the people try to scramble to get the cheap TV, and they're fighting over it, and there's pieces of the box flying up in the air, there's fingernails broken and everything, and they're all scrambling on the ground trying to get it. That's how the people are going to be trying to get out of the dollar. So if you're already holding the assets that are out of the dollar, the first thing that's going to go when they're like this is going to be gold and silver. It's going to be all gone. The physical gold and silver is going to be all gone first. That's what's going to go first. And then when they're all still holding dollars, there's nothing else left to buy to get out. They're going to go for cryptocurrencies next. And first, it's going to be the better cryptocurrencies. They're going to buy up all of the Bitcoin and Litecoin and all of the good coins. They're going to buy all them up, and they're going to shoot to the moon. And then they're going to start to buy the coins that are further down on the list. Number 23, number 24, number 25. And then they'll start buying the coins that are like coin number 100, coin number 250 on the list. And you're going to see the cryptocurrencies go heavenward at that point, along with gold and silver. It's going to be a massive, massive crisis. I think that most people are going to make it through this crisis, but it's going to be something to remember. And it's going to be one for the record books. And it's starting to unravel. It's starting to get ready to happen. And there's no stopping it at this point. Gee, I told you guys I was going to try to get it at 15 minutes. And I'm going a little bit over time. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.